Welcome, everybody, to episode 4 of the Fantasy in Progress podcast, a point in progress podcast, where we talk about Final Fantasy, the story, the raids, and everything in between. I am here with my two co-hosts, Fee. How you doing, Fee?
I'm doing good. Other than what just happened the past 5 minutes, I'm doing great.
Hey, sometimes I gotta put the monologue in my head. I gotta come up with a better monologue, honestly, for my next one. So.
Yeah, for listeners to explain, he was having like a straight up 8 Mile moment where he was just like staring into like the abyss and trying to think of the opening. And yeah, it's been a really great 5 minutes so far. So I'm really excited to get this show on the road, you know?
Yeah. Were you recording that?
Yeah, it's all recorded.
Oh,
the
yeah.
other voice you hear is Frank. How you doing, Frank? Welcome back.
Hey, it's been a week. I've come back from my Riot Fest concert, and it's day 5. I don't have COVID, so it's pretty sweet. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
The concert was very great. I hate to have missed a podcast for it, but hey, Run the Jewels was sick. Rise Against was sick. I didn't see that. Fee recommended this guy named Andrew WK, but like,
Never heard of him. Sounds
Never
like a nobody. Sounds like he needs, like, that guy needs to get a different, he needs to step it up a little bit,
Damn,
okay. I'm kidding. I joke. I'm kidding.
I almost saw Fee go Ultra Instinct.
I saw the death glare.
I saw the I must go all out just this once, uncle, and then just Harv just slice in half through the screen.
What are you gonna say, Fee? What are you gonna say?
I don't even know anymore, guys.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Just apparently the range of emotions that are like just being displayed across my face. And this is great that this is a podcast where people listen to this and are confused as to what has been happening over the past minute or so. It's okay. You know what?
Yeah.
You guys have your thoughts about music, and I have mine, and I'm just gonna sit over here and be
Joking aside, though, I would like to. I did see Andrew WK's stuff on the Spotify playlist. Fee, if you wanted to,
Yes.
since you couldn't be at Riot this year,
Yeah.
you could on Spotify just look up Riot Fest 2021, and everything that played during Riot Fest this year is on there.
Wow.
Yep, including Andrew WK stuff. So
Man, I can't wait to listen to this guy. Also, Harv, you know what? I would like to see you try to get into Riot Fest. You know what? Yeah.
I would love to see Harv at Riot Fest. That was a crowd that it took me a minute to really kind of. It's weird because like you go to a festival and
my
like,
Riot Fist approved. Riot Fist.
Yeah.
Riot Fist.
I'll talk more about it on the Point in Progress podcast because this isn't the place for it. But like, man, it's just so weird to be at a festival now.
Yeah,
but I'm glad to be back, and I'm glad to be. It's been a week. I haven't played Final Fantasy in a week because I've also been playing Deathloop, so it's been a week.
Well, the thing is, today we're not going to be talking about what we've been playing or what we've been doing in Final Fantasy. The live letter from the producer just went by. So Fee and Frank, Fee especially, has never been through a live letter before, and she sat down and watched all 7 hours of it with us.
What a legend. What an absolute legend.
We started at 7 p.m. Pacific time. That is 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock for her. And it was 7 hours.
I remember getting home from Riot Fest and seeing you guys still online, and it was like 1 a.m. my.
Yeah.
You guys are still watching this, and it was still going. I think at 2 a.m. Fee posted that that was just the first part.
Yeah.
Well, no, the first part ended around midnight, I think.
Okay.
Or 11 o'clock my time, I think. So it was about 4 hours for the first part, which was honestly the big bulk of it. Right?
Yeah.
So the main thing we're going to talk about tonight, or for this podcast, is we're going to talk about the job changes. So Endwalker is about 57 days away. It's about there. So we're going to get new abilities. We're going to get new jobs. We're going to get some changes to other abilities. So we're going to go over the two main ones for sure. The ones that we play. And then I'm going to cursory just go over some of them that that, you know, just the rest of them just kind of glide over them kind of type thing, right? So
Yeah.
what did you think about the live letter format, Fee, since you watched it?
Well, it was a time and a half for sure. I think with the amount of information that they had to present, I think it was really well done. I think that there were times where, even for me, and it wasn't even just because of how late it was mostly like there were certain aspects that just didn't particularly interest me. But what was nice about it was, yeah, there was a little bit of information for everybody. They kept on going back. They actually just showed all the new changes for, like, they didn't show stats or anything like that, but you got to see like the actual mechanics being played out. And we got to get a few quick peeks at two of the new roles that we'll be new jobs that we'll be talking about later on. And then they kind of just broke down everything into bit by bit, not overwhelming anybody, which is good. It wasn't just like, okay, here are the stats, here are the numbers, let's go through every single bit. It was, here are the major changes, this is what you should be expecting. They answered a few questions. Yoshi P just staring at the chat the entire time. Yeah. He made sure
Yoshi,
if there were...
This is the thing about this live letter, Frank. Let me paint you a picture here, right? So this is being streamed on Twitch, YouTube, and Nico, which is the Japanese kind of Twitch, or it's like their live broadcasting thing. And so they bring out a topic for a different job and stuff, and you just see Yoshi P, so the director of the game, looking at chat the entire time.
It was like this. He was like,
yeah, like he's like looking at chat and he's like, what kind of questions do you guys have? And then he starts answering questions from the chat about like what the job is, and like, or like if they add like, do they want to do a demo? Like, you know, should we just do a demo for it? Let's just do a demo for it, right? Because like we need to see what this is. So like this format is, every live letter is like this. So like it's different from like other companies that do these kind of things, where it's like either like a video gets released, like a really edited down video gets released, or it's like a blog post or something, right? This feels very community-esque.
Oh, 100%. It was awesome that they it was a lot of like them showing us a lot of information and going through the actual like presentation, but them actually like wanting to answer these questions, as we saw with a specific topic that I will not be mentioning right now, that took 45 minutes to go over, and boy howdy, having it range from between like 5 o'clock to 5:45 in the morning for me, that was a whole freaking time and a half.
There was a topic that took that long?
Oh yeah.
I'm curious what the topic was now.
It was a topic. It was all about the teleportation
fees.
Oh, okay, we talked about this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but no, it was, you could tell how much they cared about it and how much love that they have in the game, and they wanted to make sure that everyone understood the new changes. And it was kind of funny as well, because they were like, we're not going to tell you guys everything about the classes, but sometimes they went a little bit into depth, and you're like, you said you weren't going to go that deep into it, but you could tell how excited they were, that it was like really difficult for them not to go into the depths that they did and the information that they were providing. So it was really nice not to just have like, okay, this is what's happening, and then rather than like paying attention to the chat and like going on to the next topic, they wanted to make sure that like they could answer anything at that particular time. And also just a side shout out to Yoshi P, because at the beginning I made a comment and I'm like, guys, I'm just really, really tired right now. And then all of a sudden, not like 5 minutes later, Yoshi P is just like, I'm very sorry, guys. I'm very tired. I'm going to be making faces all night. I'm not mad. I'm just very tired. I'm like, this guy literally is my spirit animal. Like, I cannot like, this guy understands me. Mind you, I'm not going on smoke breaks, but I understood. I'm like, you know what? I get it. I completely get why you're tired, and by all means. But no, they trucked through the entire thing, and it made me excited, and that's why I didn't just like randomly drop off in the middle of it. If it was something that just didn't keep my interest, I would have definitely left. But no, I was there until the end, when it was almost 7 a.m. in the morning for me, and I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah. And shout out to the translator as well, where she had to translate the Japanese, and then translate that into English and then put it into some sort of digestible way for gamers to actually like figure out what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
So shout out to her. She did an amazing job.
She was so cute, and she was just like, I love this game, and she was just like, I just want to make sure everyone understands. And then if she like made an error, she came back from the break and she's like, I just want to let you guys know that there was a mistake said earlier on. I'm very, very sorry. And she would go back and explain what the errors were. So shout out to her, like, for being able to do that for 7 hours is intense. Like, it's just like a lot of people might look at a translator and be like, oh, that must be easy. It's not an easy task. So I definitely commend her for all the effort that she put in, and especially having to take that information live and then translate it to all of us.
And the fact that it was all like the two of them were in the office and she was doing it through Zoom as well. Yeah. So like she wasn't there in the office because of, pandemic and all that kind of stuff too, right? So but yeah,
that's intense. Like 7 hours to interpret. I mean, at least like over where we were like during that concert thing, they would have to swap out interpreters every song. You know what I mean? Because I would imagine it's very, stressful to like have to do like stuff like that. But like 7 hours, man. Yeah, that's insane.
But on that note, we're gonna talk about all the job changes that are coming in to the jobs. But what we're gonna start with is something that we all play. So we'll go with that first. And so we're gonna start with Red Mage. Red Mage is the first thing that's on my list. So Red Mage doesn't get an overhaul, but they get so much more utility now that it kind of like it low-key scares me of how much utility this job is gonna get now, because they already have Embolden, which is a great physical attack for everybody that's physical, and then it gives them magical attack bonus as well. Now on top of that, they are getting a dome that is it gives a defensive buff to your whole team. And then here, so I'm gonna play it in the background as well, so it's happening. So they get that, and then they made some changes to like their Verholy, their Scorch, and forgot what their last one is. It's all becoming AoEs now as well, and they get a new gauge at the very bottom for like a big attack. So I know, Fee, you're not up to level 80 yet for this job, so you don't know like a lot of the last skills. But what did you think of what you saw with these changes?
My goodness, if Red Mage weren't flashy enough, they have a whole new tier of just full on like pageantry that I'm like, yes, I love the fact that there's like different aspects that like help the team out, but that line attack at the very end that they showed in the clip is insane. Like that looks absolutely bonkers. And it was just to add, it was Flare, Verholy, and Scorch worth.
Verholy, Scorch, the Scorch, yes, that's what it was.
But oh my gosh, it makes me even more excited to actually get up to 80 and level this job out even through Endwalker. Because as we talked about last week, like I was never really looking into playing a DPS in this game, but now that playing it over the last few weeks and now adding on to actually watching the live letter and seeing the new changes that they've added to the role, even though it's not extreme, like some of the actual classes, as we'll be talking about, had complete overhauls, but it just makes the Red Mage way more, like, it makes it more enticing, because it not only you get the crazy flips and the flares and the explosions, but having more benefits to the team really like resonate with me, because that's something I always enjoy to do, is like when I'm looking at a job to actually level up, is what can I contribute to the team. And so if there is different abilities that Red Mages are being implemented with, especially the new dome that you were talking about, I think it's making me a lot more excited for Red Mage, especially going into like Endwalker, let alone getting up to max in the next 50 some odd days.
Not much time. Not much time. But
not much time at all.
It's very interesting to see that they've changed. So Red Mage also has a skill called Magnification, which doubles their light and dark magic pretty much.
Yeah.
Now they've made it so gets you right up to 50. And so they've also decreased the amount of magic you need to do your physical combination now, like your sword combo. So 50 is how much you need to do that entire thing. So magnification now has become an automatic physical DPS combo, and then they've added a extra step to every rotation that they have, which is cool, which is awesome. It's a good change. This is going to be a theme that is going to be in a lot of the jobs where they gave them a little bit more utility, but they've built on what they already have. And I think Red Mage, is going to be a very big piece in a lot of people's puzzle when it comes to raids, when it comes to finishing fights, and just like even leveling. Like, it looks fun. Like, it actually looks a lot of fun.
I have a quick question. The dome that you were referring to, is that the defense party-wide enhancement that they have implemented? Okay, cool. I wasn't specifically sure when I was reading through it, because I knew that was something that was mentioned. I just completely forgot if it was a dome or if it was just like an actual just enhance, but that's good to know that, or just like a button and then go woo, and then everyone glows red for a second and then that's it. So no, it's cool to know that it's a
it's probably it's a dome. It's a defensive cooldown. The dome probably doesn't stay. It's probably just one of those things. That's what the radius of the dome is,
for sure.
And then it'll give somebody like a defensive thing. It's kind of like they're emboldened in a way, right? I kind of wish they would change emboldened, but I don't know if they actually will change it so it does magic attack as well. But I think they're gonna keep it where it is because, I mean, giving Red Mage all of that might be a bit much. That might be a bit much.
Because I've noticed recently that I always feel bad when I use Embolden. I'm like, oh wait, it's just other range like casters with me. Too bad. And then I just
no, it's not. It's you plus physical DPS. That's it. The magic don't get anything out of it. So black mages don't get anything out of it. Other red mages don't get anything out of it.
No, that's what I mean. Like, I feel bad because I'm like, oh no, like I have like a black mage with me or red mage, but then I'm like, you know what? Well, too bad, and then I have to use that on myself because I'm like, well, I need it. So. But
and then all physical attack are like, yeah,
samurai,
yeah, exactly. I like red mage changes. It's a good addition to what they have. They still have the Verkeer, they still have the Verrays, which is awesome. Something that still gives them more utility, not just that, compared to like a lot of different jobs. On that note, we're gonna go to Machinist. So Machinist, it looks like Machinist didn't change too much, but they added a couple more things to the rotation. It looks like they get a new chainsaw move, which is cool, which is awesome. So I don't know how, like, where it works in the rotation. I don't know where you could pinpoint because I don't play Machinist enough to know. I got it to level 80 and then I stopped. So I don't know where that's gonna go.
I was looking at the move and it just looks like another. Like, it looks like they took Air Anchor and just gave it another like tier. You know how they sometimes take a move and then just kind of upgrade the move?
Yeah.
Because it uses the Air Anchor gun. And the same thing with I think the drill as well. So I don't know, maybe it's another it's gonna take over what drill is.
That's something I didn't see. I didn't see drill in this trailer, so I don't know where that goes and stuff like that too, right?
Yeah, so I think it's just going to be an upgrade to a pre-existing ability, which would be easy because then it's just reassemble into chainsaw or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah. They also got a shotgun for an AoE, which is cool.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I have a complaint about Machinists is that their AoEs fucking suck.
Which is weird. You would think, right, that you would, because I know that is something I do know is that their AoEs are not great. They are not great.
That's why I rarely ever use mine. I'm like, I'd rather just do damage on one, get it out of the way, instead of just using this shitty AoE that's not really doing much.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But yeah, so they have that now, and then they have new queen abilities. So this was something that I really wanted Machinists to get. Because I feel like when you get the queen, it's really one and done, and it doesn't really do much. It's kind of it's a glorified
Yeah.
dot, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, it's literally just something you throw out so then you can just like combo with it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But I haven't been able to even use it because it's a level 80 ability.
yeah.
You know, so I haven't been able to really kind of like really stretch out what I could really do with Queen. But it's nice to see that their Queen's getting more abilities as well.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting a little bit more out of it, so that's really nice. That's really nice because it seems like it's got its own 3-piece combo now that it does before it disappears, which is cool.
Yeah, I like that Machinist isn't really getting too much of a change. I like where Machinist is right now. It does a good amount of damage as long as you know how to do your rotation. It's fun to play. It's the outfits and stuff like that are really cool. The only thing I really have to complain about, there's just two things. Utility is still non-existent for Machinist. I mean, there is some utility, but like, it's mainly just to make sure that you don't die. And then AoE kind of sucks, but there looks like they're fixing the AoE thing. We'll see if it ever gets any kind of like in future updates gets any kind of extra utility to kind of work with or something like that.
Yeah, for what I've seen, it doesn't look like it. It looks like it's still what it is.
Yeah.
Is like I said, this is a route that they're going the safe route with a lot of these jobs. They're not changing them too drastically unless they need to be changed. Because we're going to talk about Summoner, and that is like probably the biggest change I've seen a job go through in a long time. They're just like, you know what, we're starting from the beginning. We're gonna start from the beginning.
Rip Mako.
I mean, this change is way better than what it is now.
Yeah, it sucks that you have to like relearn something, because Mako's been putting in time as Summoner, so he's gonna have to relearn that whole system again.
Yeah, that is true because it's gonna have its own rotation and everything too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to my job first, which is at the very end, and that is the trusty sword and board Paladin.
Really? Okay.
Hello?
Well, at least he got a nice little cut there.
Good. We're good.
We're good. You just cut it out. Fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
He's gonna forget about that.
I'm not gonna forget about it. I'm not gonna forget about it. Hey, you know what? If it's in there, it's in there. It is what
you can write a note for yourself right now and with the timestamp.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So for me, one of the changes that we're gonna get for the job that I play, usually in every expansion from the very beginning, is Paladin. Paladin didn't get too much different. It looks like, but now we have a new Confeder combo right after using Confeder. You have a three priest combo, which looks like an AoE. It looks so cool with just swords raining down on people. Just swords raining down. And I'm so excited for it. I really hope you only press one button every 2.5 seconds for that, because I don't have room. Square Enix, I don't have room on my bar anymore. I got way too much crap.
Yeah.
Way too much crap. I don't know if your guys' bar is. I know you guys are level 70, so I don't know if it's gone to that point for you guys where the bar is just getting full and you're like, I don't know where to put these skills.
Well, the beauty of being a machinist and not having a lot of utility is that everything that I have on my bar is just part of the rotation, And he's left, dipped.
Well,
was this part of the podcast?
I
did he say he was just gonna hit and dip?
What the hell happened?
What?
You good? Did somebody walk into your door?
No, I had to get my food.
Oh, we're talking about like hot bars.
Yeah, like I don't know how you guys' hot bars are, but some of my jobs, there's no room. There's just no room.
Yeah, like I was saying, with Machinist, the beauty of not having a lot of utility is like everything on my hotbar is just like part of the rotation anyway. I am starting to notice it a lot with Samurai. The more abilities I get, the more the hotbar starts to get a little cluttered. I'm gonna have to work on a separate kind of hotbar system just for Samurai. But,
yeah, because Samurai gets a little bit more involved though too. Like there's no utility for Samurai, but it gets a lot more involved with extra skills you get.
Yeah, I just got the 63 this morning, so yeah, I just got another ability, and I have no idea how I'm going to weave that in at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Paladin. I can't wait for the jobs. For a lot of these jobs, I can't wait for them to change them, and I get to experience these kind of things are like my favorite times because we get to experience like jobs, like you get to experience new things, right? I get to experience new things finally. But then for you guys are gonna be like learning your jobs, and then new shit's just gonna be added. Be like, all right, we're just flow right through it. It's like just like what's happening right now for you guys, right? You guys are just learning new abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
When Endwalker comes out, it's gonna be like that for you guys. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah. I think it's just a matter of making sure that when you realize that it's still like, at least for us, and I think a lot of even the listeners who are like the people who are listening, and just the huge massive wave of new players, it's going to be like, hey, I know you just hit 80 and you think this is how you play your class, but with the new expansion things change. Because it was the same thing with World of Warcraft, because when we went from Wrath of the Lich King, and I was affected by this because I played a shaman, which was a raid healer, and then we got to Cataclysm, and the first portion of Cataclysm was just like, so you're a solo heal now, and you're not an actual raid healer, and you're like, what? I don't like this. I hate this. I absolutely hate, like, fix my character or I'm going to be upset. And I was upset for a little while, but then you got used to it, and the second you got used to it, they're like, so we fixed it, and we made you a raid healer again, and you're like, fuck you, Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard mentality, just like, if they don't like it, they'll learn to love it, and if they don't love it, we'll fix it later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Blizzard's thing is. Like, they keep it a mechanic in the game for way too long, and then they're like, you know what? Okay, now we're gonna get rid of it. It's like, you guys should have got rid of this like a while ago.
Yeah.
Right?
If the learn to love it mentality doesn't work, then you just remove it. It's
exactly. All right. Next one we're gonna talk about is Dark Knight. So Dark Knight got a couple of changes, nothing too crazy. So like, I feel like Dark Knight, they didn't get too much of like a buff or anything like that. They got some quality of life stuff, and honestly, one of their cooldowns is just broken, so they got another charge for it. So it's just this is how it works. So the very first thing that they got was they got Salted Earth. Now you don't need a macro for it. Where it was like a macro where you needed to like do the target. Now it's just around you.
Bless.
It's automatically around you.
It's like an area AoE.
Yeah, they already have it, but the thing is, you needed a macro to use it because you didn't want to like target it yourself. You wanted to target the target in front of you, so you just skip that middle step of clicking it. So now it's just right around you.
Yeah, which honestly it should have been like that in the first place. Like, I understand there may have been mechanics in certain fights that required that ability, but as a new player, it was so irritating. Trying to like figure out like, okay, like when we were doing oh my goodness, when we were doing coil and I was trying to use it, like I would have to stop what I was doing and like I would click on Salted Earth, or at least use the binding that I had specifically for Salted Earth, and then I'd have to use my mouse to like try to figure that out while trying to do tanking stuff. And I understand a lot of people think that tanking is just standing there and hitting things and just getting smacked in the face, but there's definitely a lot of things that you need to be paying attention of, making sure of cooldowns, looking out for different effects. And so having to like do all of that, or even just like in a freaking dungeon when you have a billion things, like, oh, I'm just scrambling around, let me just throw this Salted Earth down until you told me like you need a macro for that. So instead of it targeting a creature now, it's just the same way as all the other AoE attacks that Dark Knight uses. So I'm really happy about this. This is probably I was so excited when they said this. Like, I was ecstatic when they mentioned that, because I'm like, no more macro.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, right here, like so, and then the other thing that they did, I guess they did this for all the other tanks as well. Plunge, Intervene is now 5 yalms. I think it's extended from what it was. It still does damage, which is weird in my opinion. I don't think that shit should do any damage. But again, maybe I'm in the minority when it comes to that. And then I don't know if you have Blackest Night on your Dark Knight yet.
Not yet.
So Blackest Night now has 2 charges, which is crazy because it is one of the best defensive cooldowns for a cooldown that I think is like 60 seconds or something like that. It is
Yeah.
a crazy good cooldown. And now they have 2 chargers, so you can put it on. Because like the thing about Blackest Night is that you don't put it on yourself, you put it on other people as well.
Yeah.
So you can do it to one other person. So that's a huge boon for Dark Knight. Huge boon.
So it's like Zarya,
Yes.
where she buffs people.
Yeah, well, she doesn't buff. It's just a defensive cooldown. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's just a defense. That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
you use it. You can use it on yourself and other people.
Yeah.
And then I know the simulacrum. Is that what? How do you?
Yeah, when
pronounce
you
it?
get your clone. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that one. Yeah, it's apparently it's gained new abilities. That's cool. I guess I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's a dark version of yourself.
Yeah, I mean they've already had it, but now it just got more abilities.
Yeah. No, I know
it's like the queen ability. Like, you
Yeah.
get something to throw out there. You know,
Yeah.
it means getting some new stuff.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't change Living Dead, which I really
That
thought
was
they
the
were
big
going to.
shock.
Yeah.
Yeah, because man, as fun as it is to use to stress people out, you would assume that they would make some change, but I guess it kind of like evens itself out because of the different abilities that Dark Knight already has. But they need to add some sort of chaotic ability, even though it's our saving grace ability, and which makes me a little bit upset, because man, I can't wait until the day that I'm in a raid and I use that, and then someone like I hit one and someone doesn't heal me to 100%,
Ooh.
and then I just die
Yeah.
with half health, because that is going to cause complete chaos, which I'm all about chaos, and so is Square Enix. So I get it. Like that ability, if you want to keep it the same way, we understand chaos is a thing. Hashtag chaos.
Just make sure you
Yeah.
have a white mage with your party. That's the main thing that I'll say.
Yeah, I try not to use it if there's not a white mage. I typically will avoid that button.
Yeah.
Because I know that they have the ability to like heal me up to maximum, and so like trying to do that with maybe like a scholar would be just a joke. That would be mean.
Yeah,
I'll do it with
because
Mako sometime.
yeah, see,
Yeah, just keep him on his toes a little bit. Go to 1%.
it's tough
Why not?
it's tough with scholars because they don't have they have lustrates, but that costs Aether Flow for them, and they have a finite
Yeah.
amount, and then that's on cooldown. Astro, it's not bad actually because Astro does have more massive healing. Like they got
Yeah.
like a Cure 2, they have a they have a lustrate and stuff like that too. So it's like it's
Yeah.
not bad. It's not
So
bad.
Mako, if you're listening to this podcast and you get to this particular point, you have a heads up now. If you don't listen to this podcast, you do not have a heads up.
Yeah, you have nobody to
And-
blame but yourself for not listening.
Exactly.
If you don't
It's
listen to this
all on
podcast,
you.
I don't know what you're doing. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know what you're doing. That's why I'm leaving these. I'm gonna leave these like little
Little
hints
cryptic
of just
messages.
just little.
Oh, my computer. Hello?
I think his internet went out.
Oh, there we go. No, my
Oh.
computer just lagged like crazy. It's been doing that
Yeah,
recently. I don't know why.
Oh,
Discord's
yeah.
been acting up anyway. It took me like a good solid minute to join this party earlier.
No,
We
my
were.
yeah, never mind. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Sorry, you were saying?
Oh my goodness. No. So no, I'm leaving cryptic messages for FC. Specifically people that we raid with. So this is going to be an actual the start of pure chaos in our FC. So if the people in our FC are not listening, I'm specifically giving you warnings. And if you're not listening, the next time we raid or the next time we run a dungeon together, you know what happened. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and if you're surprised, we know you're not listening.
exactly.
There we go. There we go. We'll test you guys. We'll test you
We're
guys.
testing. It's a test. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
test.
this will be on the test.
Yeah, this in particular will be on the test.
Yeah, and for
Um,
listeners, you will know. You will know.
So the next job I want to jump into is Samurai. Since I know Frank plays Samurai, I play Samurai. I've been playing a lot of Samurai lately. Doing a lot of
fuck to the samurai too, man.
yeah. It's my entire because I've been farming for doggos and stuff like that, and it's all about Samurai for me. So it looks like for Samurai, Mako Shisui is getting a second cooldown. Like it's getting a you can use it more than once now, so it's getting another
Yeah.
stack. So that's really
What
nice.
ability is that again?
That's the one that gives you the last combo, like the stickers. If you do the last part of the combo,
Oh, so you get 2 of those?
you
now?
get
That's
2.
actually kind of sick.
Yeah, you get 2 of
So
those
you
now.
could combo. You can combo it 3 times if you really wanted to.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god, that's so sick. I
Um,
love it.
And the other big change that they've done is that your sticker or your buffs like Jinpu and Shifu are now also applied when you do AoE damage, which is a huge quality of life thing that I've been asking for so long. So long. Because right now,
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, because I was about to say, like, yeah, you do get the stickers for it, but like, you don't get the
buffs.
You don't
So
get the
you have
buffs.
to do the single target first, and then go into the AoE combos. So being able to get those AoE combos or get those buffs while you're doing AoE is amazing. It is great.
That's a great ability because, like, I think that AoEs only do extensions right now.
Yeah, they
Like,
only
they
do
only extend
extensions.
the
Yeah,
ability.
they only
Yeah.
extended. Yeah, up to 40 seconds. And then the other thing that they added to Samurai was the fact that there is another skill after the Madari. So there
Okay.
is another big attack that they get now,
Yeah.
which I'm guessing is going to be it's going to be the level 90 skill.
Oh,
Most
dude,
likely.
it's gonna be. If it's called, what is it called here? Masterful Blitz.
No, that's monk stuff. So I think she put samurai
Oh.
or she put monk stuff in the samurai stuff. So that's so this is what it is. So new action ability Aijutsu, new action in Aijutsu. So the Aijutsu is like your ability where you do Madari, you do the AoE one, Higabana, you do those. So there's gonna be another one now. So there's gonna be a 4th one that they're adding.
Oh, dude. Okay.
To
Cool.
it. And
Into
then since you can do that, the other skill, which is called Tsubame Geishi, that'll have that skill as well. So what the job gets very complicated once you get to 80. Like the job actually has some technical skills that you have to know how to use it. So I'm happy for that. They added a new skill. Maker Shisui gets another charge, which is great. Third Eye now grants Tenkenki, which is fine. Never used Third Eye anyways, so it's whatever. But yeah, Jinpu and Shifu apply the AoE dots. What do you think, Frank?
Oh, dude, I love it. I love it. I kind of already liked the AoE with Samurai because it still gave you a good amount of meter. It still did a decent amount of damage. But yeah, not having any kind of buffs kind of suck because you kind of want those buffs, especially if you're fighting if you're doing a big pull. But yeah, I think all these changes are actually pretty cool. And then having a new extra little kind of finisher ability. I always thought the finisher ability currently, or I am about 63 for Samurai, felt kind of lackluster. But I figure it'll probably get better as I level up and everything like that. But it's good to see I have an even bigger kind of finisher move coming up in Endwalker. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. I mean, even Shadowbringers, it puts the job on it. It gives it a good finisher, and then you have a follow up to that finisher, and then you have another. And then once you get 3 charges, you have a finish. There is a lot of damage output when it comes to the Samurai. A lot of damage output. Again, utility's not there, so that's still a thing for them. But the job itself looks really cool. Really cool. So my other job that I want to talk about more in depth was Astrologian, which is my other class that I'm playing, which is for my alt character. I am not 100% sure what all the main changes they had here, so I'm just gonna look through this through healers right here. So they got rid of Diurnal Sect and they got rid of Nocturnal Sect. So now they do shields, but they don't have the stances anymore, which is still weird. But it looks like they have something like that. And then Divination now has different uses. So it looks like Divination so the Divination is when you get 3 cards in your stash, and then you use those 3 cards to right now it just buffs the entire party. It gives a 6% buff to damage right now. But now it looks like Divination has different abilities that you can use. So you can use it so you do a crazy attack, or you do more AoE heal, like it does an AoE healing kind of type thing. It seems like they've kind of made the cards a little bit more flexible and seeing like what you can do with it. And from what I saw of the trailer, it looks like they've kind of added like a barrier that is late, like a time thing where like you put it on them and then like 5 seconds later it pops up on them. It's weird. It's very weird. And then they have a star shower that comes down.
Hell yeah, dude.
So
That's sick.
yeah, they did, and then their crown cards and their queen cards now do AoE. It looks like, so it does the entire party.
Yeah.
So they didn't go in depth to Astro, which kind of sucks because like this job has changed quite a bit. It looks like, but I'm excited to jump into it because I really like Astro. I like the micromanaging of cards and balancing that with healing. Now that they are becoming a peer healer, I feel like healing is going to be a lot hard. It's going to be a lot tougher with cards because you're not going to have a white mage to like, fall back on in a way.
Yeah. I think Square Enix should stop being cowards and just give this class a dual disc already.
A dual disc.
Yeah, like one of those.
Right.
putting
I mean, that's pretty much what Oriange has at this point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to jump into it because I'm going to be leveling all the jobs up to 90 because I'm a crazy person and I do that. And I'm excited. I'm actually really, really excited.
Do you have a Astro on your alt at 80?
Right now on the alt, he's like 70.
No, I mean, sorry, I keep calling your main character your alt. No, your main character. I mean,
yeah, everything on my main character is 80. It's
Yeah.
max level.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you don't have to restart all over again.
No, I've made sure that everything is fully done on that character. So the next two jobs I want to go through are the two new jobs that they're adding to Endwalker. So first, we'll stick with the healer talk and we'll talk about Sage. So Sage is going to be, it is a full-on barrier healer. So it possesses everything what a barrier healer does. So AKA, it's got shields, it's got domes, it's got those are the main two. But the main thing about Sage, the main change that comes from Sage from other things is that they have their regular heals, they got their AoE heals, but they also heal off of doing damage.
Interesting.
So it seems like a portion of damage that they do. So you throw a buff on somebody, and every time you DPS, that person that has the buff gets healed. So it looks like it's a portion of the damage you're doing goes and heals the other person. So obviously you would put that on a tank because it's your tanks is who you want to keep alive. So it looks like they're incentivizing more, like doing more damage for healers with this expansion.
And are you specifically saying that for all the healers or just specifically Sage?
Sage is the only one right now that does that, but what they've also done is they have made it so all of the DPS skills for healers are now on a 1.5 second cooldown or a global cooldown instead of the 2.5. So they're incentivized. Like that pretty much tells me that they're incentivizing you to DPS more. Yeah, DPS more.
No, absolutely.
This might actually be the healer I try because I love DPSing. DPSing is my jam. And if I could heal just by doing damage, then it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, why not?
Yeah, and they have a cool little bar at the bottom too. So every time, like you can upgrade one of your spells that you use that does more potency. They have like their AoE damage spell. They have a gap closer, which is awesome. And they have like that shield healing. They have AoE shield healing. So like, it seems like this job on paper right now looks broken. But so they've looked at potencies and stuff like that this job can do. There are a lot of restrictions to the job. Like, there's a lot of cooldowns that share cooldowns with other skills that you have. So it seems like it is going to be like, so I think the theme that they've done with these 2 jobs that they've added, they're very technical heavy jobs, so they're going to be hard to play. Like, they're going to be hard to play well, it seems.
No, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what they're going for with these jobs, with Sage and Reaper.
Yeah, you get what you kind of put into it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because like, so there's a lot of skills that are going to require you when to use your gauge ability or when to use this ability and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a cool job. Well, I'm going to level it up. I'm going to see how it is. It's going to start at 70, so that's kind of cool. Problem is, it starts at 70, so you're going to have to learn it pretty quick. But yeah, Fee, what did you think about Sage? Because I know World of Warcraft has something like this, right?
Yes, they have something very similar, and that is the priest, specifically. My goodness, I keep on saying specifically. The disc priest, the discipline priest, where you have to. It's a lot of doing damage and kind of balancing, almost like with the end. I've said this to you, is almost like with the red mage, where you have to balance your light and your dark meters when you're playing this particular class. Mind you, I did level this up to max when I was playing. Did I play it very often? Absolutely not. It stayed in a nice little case over on the Alliance side by itself, where all my other characters were Horde, and so I just never played it because it just never really interested me. So I don't know if I'm going to jump on the Sage bandwagon very quickly, just because it's not like when I heal, and that's something that's kind of deterred me from hopping on like just to start healing in this game, because it incentivizes DPS and healing at the same time. Whereas when I'm healing, I'm usually in the mindset of you should be healing. Mind you, when we were playing things like Overwatch, it kind of branched off a little bit because I was playing a character, like playing characters like Moira that does damage while healing. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a matter of it just didn't particularly interest me. I know the Reaper interested me a lot more than the Sage did, but I think once it actually gets released, I might will probably pick up the starting quest and try it out from there. I've already been wrong multiple times before playing this game, so I'm very excited to be wrong in this case and be excited about Sage once I actually get to play it. I think it's with this particular job, I need to actually play it to feel like I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. I remember watching, like obviously I remember watching this event. I understand it was late, but when it came to Sage, it just didn't jump out to me at the time when we were watching it.
Yeah, I'm not a barrier healer kind of person. I don't like barrier. I like pure healers, so this is why I usually gravitate towards White Mage, or I gravitate towards more Astro and more like Diurnal Sect kind of type thing. I'm not a big fan of Scholar. I don't think it's a great job. And Sage looks cool, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, I'm not excited as much as everybody else is excited for this job.
Yeah,
it sounds cool.
Try it out, but
it sounds cool. Like the voice, like the sound effects that it does for its spells and stuff. Those sound fucking dope. Like they got laser beams and stuff like that. So it sounds really, really cool.
Yeah.
But that's for me. That's really all it's got. That's really what it's got. I don't know if Frank, you really play healers.
I don't. Most part. That's the thing. I mean, I'm looking to jump into a healer just to kind of have one in my back pocket. It's not going to be like even my secondary. It's just going to be probably like, if we ever need a healer type deal. I do want to try it out just to kind of see what the rotation is and like, how it works and everything. But it's just something that I'm a guy who likes a lot of speed. You know what I mean? Like I like to go in, do a lot of heavy damage as fast as I can, and then kind of, just make sure, I'm just doing damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is why Machinist and Samurai are perfect, because you go in, you're just worrying about damage. It's basically it.
Yeah. I feel that. So the next one I want to talk about is Reaper. Now this might be something that you're probably going to enjoy.
Yeah.
So Reaper is the new class that's coming out in Endwalker. It uses a scythe as a weapon. I forgot what Sage uses, what the weapon thing that they have for that is.
It's like Zenyatta balls,
something like that. But they're like actual like turrets.
Balls.
They're turrets as well.
Turrets.
It is
Take a look at this thing.
very weird. It's very weird. So yeah, so they use a scythe as their weapon, and then they have an avatar as well that they can fuse with. So the avatar, when you're fused with the avatar, you have positionals. When you're not fused with the avatar, you don't have any positionals, which is cool. They have a party enhancement, so they have utility. And plus, their party enhancement also gives you gauge. It looks like so it gives them one of the gauges. I don't know which one it is. It's either the shroud gauge or the other one. But honestly, looking at this job, I was just thinking there are so many people that are gonna play this job when it comes out.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is gonna be ridiculous.
I guarantee you the glamour for that class is gonna be the fucking shit.
Yeah,
Just its default look is like, yes, dude, that looks so cool.
yeah. And just they have their own teleport, which kind of reminds me of the character from Apex Legends, where she uses the teleporter. I forgot what her name was now. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot now. Whoa.
I was just playing that last night too, and I don't even.
Wraith. It's kind of like
Wraith,
Wraith,
yeah.
But yeah, looking like I you guys can't see this, but I'm putting the trailer up right now. But like looking at like their combos and stuff like that, and seeing what their gauge is, like once you fuse with your avatar, you go into like the super Saiyan mode where every cooldown is 1.5 seconds, which is a ridiculous amount of DPS you can unleash at that point.
I love it.
Yeah. So this job oozes with style too.
Yeah.
I just like this might specifically sound odd, and this is kind of a shout out to everyone who's gone through the Dark Knight storyline, but I want to see how connected the Reapers are when it comes to Dark Knights. And the reason why is because in the storyline, like actually pretty early on in the Dark Knight storyline, when you're interacting with your mentor Faye, they actually get really angry at you at one point, and they do the exact same eye ability that we see in the actual playthrough, where their eyes go completely black with piercing red bloodshot eyes. And like that is literally what Faye did. So I would love to see how they get connected. And I imagine if they've done that kind of like shout out to that particular, because it's verbatim the exact same thing. I want to see if they actually put the dots together. I know this person who's making the story arc for Endwalker is the same person who did the Dark Knight storyline. So I'm hoping they do kind of like an homage or some sort of connection, because I got really excited when I saw that, because I'm like, that's what Faye does. When they were getting really angry and they start discussing the fact that you need to embrace the dark side, their eyes went black and red. And then once we find out that what happens, Faye in particular, it now kind of makes a lot more sense. So I'm very, 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 very excited to see how the storyline goes for that.
Yeah, it would be cool if like the Reapers were kind of like the Azure Dragoons of like the Dark Knights, where like that's the next tier up.
I mean,
I could see.
Yeah, the thing that Final Fantasy loves to do, what Square Enix loves to do, is call back other shit. That is like what the specialty of this company is, and they always like to intertwine stories together that are from different jobs and stuff like that. So just like seeing it standing inside the main story, and then you see him in the Dragoon quests, like that is you know, they like to weave that stuff in.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
No, but it looks so cool. This I will admit I am a little bit overwhelmed, and I think this is probably something that might deter me from playing this, is the portal ability that they have, because it's just like, okay, now I need to remember that if I click this particular button, I'm going to be sent back to where my portal is, because I know for a fact that's going to fuck me. That's going to just mess me up really badly, because I'm going to end up clicking a button to go back to where it was, and there might be a crazy AoE, and then I'm like, oh, rest in peace. Bye, guys. And then it would be like, where'd Fee go? And it's just like, Fee just portaled herself back into the AoE. Because I know for a fact that's what's going to be said. At some point in the next 6 months after release, it's going to be Fee accidentally portaled herself into an AoE. Because it's going to happen. And it's going to have oopsies after. It's going to be me saying oopsies.
So, Fee, I challenge you to draw a picture
Yeah.
of this exact thing, just like a little mini comic of you just going like the opposite of what you do with Red Mage, because I love what you do with Red Mage, where you just kind of pop in and just go bye.
Now it's by just you
like,
falling,
bye, and then just like shit coming down. You're just like, oh my god.
No,
That
I just
honestly, that would be a really good short to have with like you doing that, and then the AOE coming down, and then her character just dying.
Yeah, just like, oh. Like I fucked up, guys.
Yeah.
I just imagine like Thornton just like going into the AoE and being like, well, this is my fate, and just like dying instantly.
Yeah.
It's just like Christmas tree, Fiona, Christmas tree, and then I like end up. That's a nightmare for me. That gets stuck in my head consistently now. No, I also just wanted to say that that specific mechanic reminds me a lot of the this is shouting out another video game completely, but it reminds me of the Demigorgon and Dead by Daylight, where one of its abilities is you actually open a portal to the upside down in one area, and then you go to a different location, and then you can open up another portal, so you can go back and forth. That messed me up when I tried to play Demigorgon. So
good thing you don't have to worry about it anymore, because I'm pretty sure all that stuff's gone.
Demigorgon is still there. It's
Is
just a matter of you can't get the map. Yeah, you still have it. If you've bought it, you still have it. So yes, I can still relive out my saddest times in that video game. And now it can translate over to Final Fantasy 14 when I play the Reaper, because you know for a fact I know everyone on this podcast is gonna make a Reaper. Like I know
100%.
Harv is the freaking job junkie. Frank loves DPS, and I just love the edgelord cringe, like the actual like dark, like yes,
edgy, the hedgy, like
yeah, that's just me. That's my character. So man, I am just too. Oh, God, this I was very. I know everyone that we were watching and we were live streaming with were very very excited for this class.
Again, this class is very technical. I've seen the skills. I've seen like what the combo is for this class.
Yeah.
And it is a very technical job. Like it is one of those things where I think it's gonna be fun to play but hard to master.
Oh yeah.
So there's gonna be a lot of that, and it's
those are the fun classes though.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of gauge awareness when it comes to that class. There's gonna be a lot of that stuff. So I'm excited.
And then I have one last request for Fee. Make a comic. Reaper class again, but you forget where you left your portal, and you're in the middle of battle, and you say, "Fuck it, I got a portal out of here," and you portal out of there, and you portal into Americ's house.
That would be
Americ's
actually
just
pretty
like,
funny.
what the fuck are you doing here? How did you get here?
Well, one of us could probably just Fantasia into Americ, and then you could like control like what the fuck he's doing.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, for sure. Lumara is definitely a massive yeah, I'm saying my character's name because she's the one in the screenshots. No, but gosh, I'm not gonna master this. Like I'm gonna love this class. I'm gonna but I know for a fact any type of situation where you can just get yourself flung off in portal into AoE, or just portal into like, oh, there used to be floor now there, but now that the floor is now gone, I'm now AoE.
I'm thinking of Titan.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm gonna put it at the edge, and then I'm gonna be like, bye, and then it's just like death.
But the thing is, there's a difference in this class though, because this is a physical DPS. This is not a ranged DPS.
No, for sure.
Right? Red Mage is the complete opposite, right? Where you go in, but you're only in there for like what, maybe 5 seconds, and then you're out. Yeah. So this one's a more of a physical DPS. But there is like, so you do get, so there is another thing where you do get a buff.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a ability unlocked when you do the teleport out, and you get ability unlocked when you do the teleport in.
Yeah.
So you have 2 abilities that you can use depending on if you're far away or if you're close. So they did
like how Samurai, you can close the gap, or you can make a gap and then close it.
But this is different though, because this when you use the portal and you go out, they have a ranged ability that they use.
Oh, okay.
Like a ball that they throw, and it explodes on the monster. They also have when you go in, they have a line AoE that they do right after you teleport in. So they used to do it. So they kind of incentivize you to use this ability in some way, but I don't know where you would fit that into like a rotation, or like how would you fit that into like things. I don't know. Again, we don't know enough about the job to actually get that.
Yeah, it depends on if the job's fun. This is one of those things where just like people will play it as long as it's fun. Like I like playing Machinist because I feel like with its spam abilities and stuff like that, it makes it more engaging to actually like, play the ability instead of just like hit a button, wait a few seconds, hit the next button, wait a few seconds. Like there's some times where you can actually kind of like almost freestyle a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where this sounds like you can do somewhat of the same thing with that one ability that you said where everything's kind of like a 1 second. So, okay, I can kind of just, let loose and, freestyle a little bit and just kind of have a little fun with the abilities instead of just like having a set like
the 1.5
just
second
rotation.
cooldown. You don't get to use any ability. You have set abilities you have to use for that 1.5 second GCD. But it is so fast that it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So the next job I want to talk about, none of us play this job, but it got a huge overhaul. Huge. Which is Summoner.
Summoner.
So the
RIP
big
Summoners.
This is gonna be a very interesting job. I wonder where this is gonna land with people. So they got rid of all dots. Summoner has no dots. It seems like the only dot job now that's out there is Bard. I think they're the only ones that actually have dots now. Part of their rotation. Their Eggies are all gone. So now they actually have summons, like actual summons. They have Ifrit, Garuda, and Titan as their summons. Each time you summon one of them, your abilities turn into those. They get that effect. They all get augmented by that effect. So in this video, so the rotation is going to be getting out Bahamut first, then going through the 3 Eggies, and then you go into Phoenix. So if you use Garuda, you're gonna have more wind abilities, and then when you do Titan, you'll have more stone abilities. When you do Ifrit, you're gonna have more fire abilities, and those all change. They all have different OGCDs. They have different GCDs and everything like that too. So it is a major overhaul of this job. Not having dots, not having Eggies anymore, not having you don't have a pet anymore in its way. You just don't have a pet. So I'm happy that they did this because Summoner, because this actually gets me excited to play Summoner, because I did not like Summoner that much when I was playing. So I'm glad that they're I don't know why it keeps doing that. I'm glad that they changed it up. I'm glad they changed it up.
Yeah. I know one of us plays a Summoner.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious on what they think about this, especially since they've been putting a lot of time into this class.
It did not go well for Mako. It was a lot of like, not only that, but like the 2 classes he plays the most got completely overhauled. Like, so we were sitting here and we're like, okay, like Dark Knight gets a little bit of changes, a little bit flashy. Red Mage super flashy, and like White Mage has their changes. But then we got to Summoner, and then once we get to his healer, it was just one after the other for him. I
guarantee he was going through it.
Yes. He was definitely going through it. I think there was a lot of changes for Summoner. And I think it's great that it's making people excited, just like you, because I know it wasn't just you. There was like a lot of people who were like, even in the chat, that were like, yeah, these changes are awesome. But also, like, I feel kind of bad for the people who have gotten so accustomed, or even now just going through and learning everything that they can about Summoners, to just be like, okay, so you remember that time that you read all of this stuff to like really master and hone in your skill when it comes to a Summoner? Let me just change absolutely everything about what you're doing, and then say it's gonna be fine. We're just gonna remove all the dots, all the like you had a pet? Not anymore. You can just summon you can summon these primals, but it's fine. You'll be fine. everything's gonna be great. And they're like, but I have all these books, and they're like, just throw out the book, and then just here's a new one.
Yeah.
So,
Here's a dual disc.
oh my gosh, you and your dual disc. But no, for me, I'm not interested in playing Summoner. Summoner is probably one of the I have no interest in playing. But it was one of the biggest changes when it came to the classes.
Yeah.
If not the biggest change.
Yeah. As a person that has seen Summoner go through a couple of changes, this one's probably the most drastic one. And yeah, this actually gets me kind of excited because like the thing about Scholar is like it's not the fact that they didn't change anything of the Scholar.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? They didn't change anything for Scholar. They gave him one ability that makes them run faster in battle and mitigates damage.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to I'll talk about healers in a second, but when it comes to Summoner, this is a good change. This is a change that I think the community is going to embrace. And I'm really excited to see what kind of DPS and what kind of things that people can do with the summoning of all three primals. How are you going to weave all these different cooldowns and different summons together, which I'm really, really excited about.
He is committing arson.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently,
I can see every time you light it up because your book, like the bookcase behind you, just lights up a little bit.
She's gonna burn it all down. But yeah, when it comes to healers, Scholar was like it was the problem with Scholar is that they didn't announce anything really for it.
Yeah.
So there's not really any changes coming to it, but I think they're gonna adjust potencies and stuff like that to make it more on the Sage side. I know it got memed the fuck out of that night.
Yeah,
so many memes.
It's because everyone else got like new, like flashy things, new changes, and this is like speed boost. So let's go on the next healer. Let's go on to Sage, and everyone's like, "Wait, what? What? Did we get anything else for Scholar?" And they're like, "Oh, so let's get a speed boost."
Scholar? Well, I haven't heard that class name in years.
It's been 84 years.
Oh my god. I've been loving the memes. I cannot deny that the overwhelming amount of Scholar memes has just been chef's kiss. It's been so good. And I know in our Discord we've just been posting them consistently majority of the time when Mako's around. And I know we keep on mentioning Mako. It's because he's our resident Scholar. And so the guy who's been spending a lot of time with this one particular healing class, I feel bad because I understand as someone who played a class in World of Warcraft that it was a meme, also like a rumor that they just hated shamans, and that's why shamans either never got any changes or they got too many changes that it completely changed the entire role. I get the memes. I get it. Is it nice to be on the outside for once? Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm looking at one of them. It's just like Scholar, just play Sage.
Just play Sage, yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of good memes on the Reddit. If you go to the subreddit for Final Fantasy, there's a lot of good ones. So there's a lot of different changes for different classes. I don't want to get into those really because I want to just focus on us. Because if I do that, we're gonna be here for ages. And also, you guys also don't play those jobs. So you guys like if I say something with like Dragoon where they got a lot of these AoEs and they got Chaos Thrust is different and all that kind of stuff, you guys aren't gonna know what that means, right? For us, for me as a veteran, I know most of the jobs, so like I know what they changed and stuff. So I don't want to go through all of them.
Other changes that are very interesting.
Yeah. So the other kind of little tidbits that I want to go over is that they are changing the party finder a little bit. They are splitting the party finder up into a pure healer and shield healer. And when you actually queue up in Raid Finder, it will automatically queue up with one pure healer and one shield healer.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
If you want to actually make the shield healers kind of viable and for people to play,
yeah,
you
because
want to have some kind of forced like having a 1-in-1.
Yeah, because I feel like if it's just two shield healers, you're gonna be in a disadvantage, a huge disadvantage.
Yeah. And if you let people do 2 regular healers, nobody's ever going to want to play a shield healer.
Yeah, exactly. There's a stat squish coming. I've never been part of a stat squish, so I don't know what this means. So I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do with this.
It's
So they're lowering all numbers down. All potencies are going to be lowered. All boss HP is going to be lowered. Everything is just going to be a lower potency now.
Oh, okay.
Because the numbers are getting too big.
Was at like, because if the ability was at like 700, I think like my drill's at like 700 potency. They'll probably drop it down to like 500 or
something like that, or like 400 or something. Yeah, and everything's gonna get dropped accordingly. Because I was looking at E8 Savage, the boss has 78 million HP. We're getting to like numbers that are it's getting ridiculous. The numbers are getting ridiculous.
They need to bring it if this game's gonna have a foreseeable future, and it needs to come down just a little bit.
They did the patent. They got a 10-year plan for this game.
Oh my god, they have another 10 years?
Yeah.
10 years.
And this game's been out for 8 years so far. So
oh my god.
Yeah. So Fee, you've been through a stat squish in World of Warcraft.
Right? Yeah. As far as I know, yeah.
I feel like it didn't go well.
Well, here's the thing. As far as like, at least for me, and this is gonna sound really silly, like I know there was one at the end of Shadowlands which I specifically wasn't a part of, and I think what happened was a lot of the stat squishes that they were looking at it once I was actually leaving. Like peace out, like roll out, and then I rolled away. But yeah, it definitely yeah, it sound really silly. But no, I think it's overall it's an adjustment period. However, I think with the rates that they're getting people and the amount of like, and this is also including the money issue that they're currently having with just so much data that's currently there, and with the gear that the way that it's going number wise, it makes the most sense to do just kind of like a complete like squish of the data, because it allows like more, and they explain this in the 7-hour open letter, is it makes it like the experience overall, it takes a little bit of adjustment, but it allows more people to enjoy it. There's less abilities to like lag out, because imagine like hitting something for like 140,000, like it's obscene.
Because Black Mages right now can almost do 200,000 damage with some of their spells.
Exactly. So it just like, it's such a large data spike if you do something like that, because I know, at least for the consumer on our side, unless you like get into the actual code, it's just like, oh, it's just a bunch of numbers. But no, there's information and data packets that are behind those numbers that allow you to hit for that a certain amount. And if they reduce it, it not only helps with things such as like lag and just pixelation and stuff like that, but it also allows things like looking into adding more people to a server. Cough, cough. We're currently in a server that you cannot actually enter. You cannot enter Animantoids right now. We are in lockdown.
Aether, just in general.
Aether in general.
No.
But yeah, you can't join us. We have like, I feel so bad when I'm like, hey, you should definitely play Final Fantasy with us. And I'm like, oh yeah, you can't actually play with us right now.
Did they say anything about server upgrades or anything like that during the live letter?
The only thing they said is that they're adding an Oceanic one for people that play in Oceanic, because they don't have a server right now.
Yeah.
Which, in my opinion, is a little counterintuitive, because everybody that plays in Oceanic already plays on JP, or they like my server or my FC, the leader, and like about like 10-20% of it is from Oceanic. They're from Australia. They play with the VPN. Right, so their server tick is down to like what pretty much, not almost what we play at, but like it's down, right? They can raid at a high level, so like I don't know what the whole point of that is at the moment, but right now they haven't really said anything how they're gonna deal with a congestion problem on Aether.
Yeah. You know, they did mention when it came to like crossplay though during the presentation, which was there is a delay.
Yeah, for cross data center travel, there's going to be a delay. I saw this one coming from a mile away, where I was like, as long as Endwalker starts smooth, Like that should be their main focus. Is like because like nobody they've never had these many people playing this game, so this expansion has to run well.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to run well.
Good first impression.
Stormblood was bad. Shadowbringers was immaculate, and so like I'm hoping that they kind of take what they did with Shadowbringers and bring it over to Endwalker with that. So fingers crossed. So also what they changed was EXP is not going to be gained off of monsters anymore, off individual monsters. They're going to be done. Everything's going to be added up at the end when you beat the boss. You'll get a big lump sum of EXP at the end. Then
is that for the open world as well, or just for
dungeons
instances? For dungeons, okay.
Yeah, for dungeons. This is a way to, like what Fee said, not worry about numbers, adding up numbers and stuff. Put it all on the back end, like keep it in the back, and then once it comes up, award the people with the stuff, right?
Kind of like that better. To be honest with you.
I do too. Now you can actually even skip like, trash if you want to.
Even then, like it just won't spam up my fucking chat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like here's 1,000, here's 1,000, here's 1,000 for every fucking monster.
I think one of the major things, and a lot of people, and it's going to be the people who are looking at the damage meters and the people who've downloaded add-ons and are looking at like, oh, this. Like I was doing like 200k before if they're playing like a black mage. Now they might be looking at something a lot smaller. It doesn't mean that they're not doing an insane amount of damage. Yeah. It's just a matter of the numbers are not the same as what they used to be. And it's going to take an adjustment period.
I mean, it's going to take an adjustment period, but the thing is like the HP of the bosses is going to go down too, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So
and it's not like it's not like the boss is going to stay up at the same level, because that would be messed up. Then we'd all be like riding at Square Enix, like the fresh hell is happening.
Like a 40-minute fight for this thing to do 79 million HP.
Yeah, like try to do a dungeon and takes like 3 hours because like all the actual like
they're literally gods.
Yeah. No, it's better overall that they do this now than midway through the expansion. Because they might release some content and then like 3 or 4 months down the line they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna squish all the information now. It's better to do it right off the bat so people can have that adjustment period, get used to it, so when they actually release the first raid that people are like, okay, this is the numbers that are normal now. So yeah, I think they're handling it very, very well, and by they I mean Square Enix, because they've thought this out. They've thought about a period where it just allows everyone to get accustomed to the new changes before they release like the raid content and all the Savage content and everything else.
That stuff doesn't come out till about 3 weeks after the expansion comes out.
Yeah,
that's when the raid comes out, so they have time to readjust a couple of things before the raid actually drops.
Yeah, exactly.
All this makes total sense. Like people are gonna get mad.
I mean, no, I don't think people are gonna get mad because they got in front of this.
Some people are.
I mean, some people but the thing is, like, they've got in front of it and said, like, this is gonna happen. They told everybody like the potencies are gonna drop. You're not gonna do it. You're gonna be doing less damage, but everything else is dropping as well.
Yeah,
right.
It like I said, people are gonna get mad, but they shouldn't, because it makes sense in the grand scheme of things. Because the game's gonna continue after Endwalker, and if you want the game to continue and have, characters that aren't 100 million HP, just because you gotta constantly raise the bar, you know what I mean? You gotta bring that bar down then, because this game has to have a future, and if the game's gonna have to have a future, that bar is gonna have to get lowered, or people are gonna have to do more damage, which isn't a option really. So lowering it makes total sense if you want to have the game have a future after Endwalker. No, this is 100% needed.
Especially with the fact that they said at least 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's not even just like it's going to be 10 more years. It's at least 10 more years.
Think about it this way, man. I'm going to 10 years from now, I'll be 35. We'll be playing this game.
I don't want to think about.
I'm going to be 43. I don't know if I'm going to be playing this game at 43, but who knows? Maybe, I could be a content creator for this game. Yeah, I could be just a content creator for this game, which I'm hoping for.
Endwalker?
Yeah, remember when Endwalker changed the game, guys? So they've also the last thing on downscaling, they're going to add an enhanced echo to all the fights. So it's gonna make the older, like for the older content. So it's gonna be on par then.
They're a lot more streamlined. Okay.
I just don't understand why 10 years instantly made you like ancient
Yeah.
sounding. It wasn't because you're gonna sound essentially the same, Harv.
My knees! I can't
My
take
knees
it.
don't. My knees
Harv,
don't
it's
work
literally
anymore.
you now.
I know, that's me right now. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. Okay, so a couple of other things that they jumped onto was that
Yeah.
so conditional enhancements like procs. So if something procs on your bar, so I know Red Mage has a lot of proc, is proc based.
A lot.
Bard.
Bard is a lot proc based. It's gonna have its own place in the HUD now, so it's gonna be
Woo.
separate from everything else.
Interesting.
So you can actually see when your stuff procs, and you can make it bigger.
That's actually smart.
Yeah.
That actually would probably make me want to try Bard again. Because one thing I hated about that is just like your abilities are like intertwined to it, but you have no way of figuring out if they're actually procking or what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. That's actually a really good thing for people who are playing those type of characters.
The other thing that they've done is that for extreme primals, it now drops a weapon plus a coffer, which is really, really cool because it always just dropped one weapon and then a totem. Now, if you get a coffer, you can use it on a particular job, you get the weapon. It's just a good quality of life thing that they've done.
So
That's
such a good idea.
It just kind of needs to happen. The other big thing that's happening in Endwalker is belt removal. Belts are being completely removed from the game. So
Fuck
yeah,
belts.
I'm
I hate
so
them.
happy. I'm so happy.
I'm so happy because like buying a belt right now or even making a belt is difficult. Like for regular classes, like you know, like regular jobs, it's fine. It's the crafting classes that it gets annoying with because they don't really give you a lot of belts for crafters. And if you wanted to get a good quality belt for like your level, at least like where you are, 9 times out of 10 you go to the marketplace and people want like $100,000 for those fucking things.
Yeah.
For like a level 50 belt, it's like, why?
Yeah. It's just a waste on the left side. It's a waste of space on the left side.
Yeah.
The other thing that they've also done is that they're getting rid of high quality items throughout the game.
Good.
So, high quality items, as in materials. You can still have high quality gear. You can have it, but you can't get high quality like stones and leather and all that kind of stuff anymore.
I love it. I hated having to fucking go out, get cobalt, and then have to have it be high quality, or like if I wanted to make something out of like leather, I had to have like 2 different types of leather, one normal quality, one high quality. It's such a waste of space. I hate it. I'm glad we're just
this is for people like
streamlining
Fee, where she has no space 95% of the time.
I don't like this change.
Why?
Ooh.
Because
Why
I
don't
like
you
the high
like this change?
quality. I like the high quality stuff because I like higher chances of making higher quality. Like because they specifically like
You
as
can
far
still
as I
make
know,
make high quality gear.
but it's gonna be harder.
Yes,
I think are they going to balance it in a way to make it so then you can still, because I guarantee they're going to up the chances a little bit just so you
because
can.
what they said, like the next specific like open letter is going to be about crafting and
Oh, I watched that
gathering.
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one's in
so-
October. Yeah,
So
have to watch
they
that
would
one 'cause
have
I
to
like
balance
crafting.
it in some way because of the the removal of HQ items.
They have to.
Because they have like there's because as of right now, some of the ability like or at least some of the crafting that I'm doing right now, it's almost nearly impossible to try to get a high quality with a low level like specific like with my lower end gear trying to make something for like a quest.
Mhm. Yeah, no,
Because-
I agree. It's
because-
difficult, and those
So
items are hard to get too.
I'm still
Yeah,
very
so-
confused of why they put it in this live letter.
Correct.
It's
I
probably a little
don't.
teaser.
Well, it's the same
Yeah.
thing with fishing.
These are things. To
Why
come.
did they bring up fishing in this live letter?
Well, they only brought that one skill up for fishing.
What was the
yes.
skill?
It's the skill that you lose when you log out. Since they have a automatic logout feature right now, they made it so you don't lose that buff.
Yeah, there's
anymore.
certain fish that you get a buff depending on how many fish in a row you get.
Yeah.
And what happened was people were fishing, they would get kicked out because of idling, and then they would lose their stacks. And so fishermen were getting really upset because of it, including myself. So because right now it still stands, my fishing is my highest job / role right now. So stuff like that's really important.
I don't know how you did it, but
I plan on hitting 80.
you're not
Like,
you're not the warrior of light. You're the warrior of right now.
yeah. And you know what? Archie is my main inspiration.
It's Archie that runs the account.
Yeah, Archie actually runs the account.
He's just doing the story stuff till you get to Shadowbringer, so you get to level 80.
Exactly. And when we talk about the live letter for Gathering, you know for a fact the thumbnail is going to be the one where Archie photobombed me while I was trying to take screenshots, because
or Archie will be Yoshida, just put his
Yoshi
face
P.
there. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that'd be
he's
perfect.
Yoshi P.
He is Yoshi P. He's the one, the pure drive of the actual account. But no, I don't know. It's just weird. That I don't know why that's something that just kind of stood out to me. But I'm going to stay open-minded until we see the open letter in October.
Yeah.
If they do not answer the questions in the live letter, because I know a lot of people who do a lot of crafting and do a lot of gathering were kind of thrown off by this change. So I'm hoping that they come to this open letter with the answers that we're looking for. And if not, it's going to be a riot. It's going to be a massive one. There might be some casualties, but everything's going to be fine. You know what I mean?
Keep Archie safe.
Yeah.
Archie will be leading it on a little stallion and a pickaxe and his fishing rod on the other side.
Archie riding a narwhal.
On the next note, after that, we have to tax the 1%. Okay, we have to tax the 1%.
By the way,
get rid of
I want my 4%. Where's my 4%?
Yeah, where's the 4%? So they went. This is the thing where they went on for almost an hour with teleportation fees. They're going up. That's all we need to know. They're going up.
Yep. Your money's gonna mean something.
Yeah,
a little bit more now.
They have their own reasons on why they're doing it, but when we were watching it, I was just tell us it's going up. We're all gonna be okay with it. We're all gonna be okay with
taxes.
it.
Just make us pay taxes already.
Right?
Fuck it.
And then they're adding a little change to the Aethernet, which is really, really cool. So what they're doing now is if you're in a town like old Crystarium, if you're in Limsa and stuff like that, when you go to an Aethernet, it shows the map plus all of the Aethernets you can teleport to. So it shows you the map of the area. You can click on the Aethernet on the map to teleport as well.
That's a great change.
Yeah,
that's an
amazing
amazing
change.
That is, I want more. If Yoshi P for some reason stumbles upon this podcast and is watching this long, good game. I like it. Good job. But if you want to overhaul anything, overhaul that fucking map system. And this is a great start to that. This is a good start to that.
Yeah, a lot of people have a problem with it. Honestly, it's not a great system that they have for a map. It's not a great system.
Yeah, it's not a great map system, but this is definitely a start in the right direction.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the new change to the Aetheryte and being able to see where you're actually teleporting to.
Yeah.
Rather than let me guess on the map where I'm actually
going.
Yeah,
because I always open up the map before anyways to see which Aethernet I need to go to. And now that it's going to be all in one place, it's just going to be a menu that pops up. Boom, done. I can click on the map if I want to, which is great because that's probably what I'm going to do for the most part, is just click on the map. Honestly, don't even give me the left side. Just give me the map. That's all you guys really need to do.
So we click on these little crystals on the map. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm really, really excited about that. Then we got the fishing change. But the problem is that fishing change is still not going to be out until Endwalker. So everybody's still going to have to deal with this shit until Endwalker. Thankfully, Endwalker is less than 2 months away.
Yeah, you're almost there, guys. You're almost there, fishers, peoples.
And then there is a doll coming out, which looks very cursed, and it's $1,000.
Where is this doll? I wanted to see this.
So her name is Y'shtola in the game, and people are calling her Y'shlada.
Y'shlada, because of fucking Asmund.
No, it's because it's cursed. It looks like Y'shtola, but it's not.
Oh, this doll. No, so the Y'shlada thing comes from Asmund. No, he's been calling your. I'm looking at this doll right now. It's fucking cursed.
It's cursed.
Why is this? Why is it $1,000?
Apparently, it's a very high-end company that makes them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the doll itself is absolutely terrifying. I do not
Jesus
understand
Fucking Christ.
why. Like, if I recall correctly, this company makes absolutely stunning dolls
Yeah.
for like different anime recreations. So seeing this, it's haunting. I don't know what's going on.
It's the
Like,
face. It's the
It's the
face.
face. It's all the
the
face.
body is fine.
Yeah.
Everything else is fine. It's the fucking face.
Yeah.
I think it's because she's blind, and they really emphasize.
No, it's not even that. It's just her features just don't make her cheeks are like puffy, aren't they? And stuff
Yeah,
like
they're
that
puffy.
too.
She's got more of like a smaller head in this.
Yeah.
In
And
this
that's
doll.
the first thing you see every time you log into Final Fantasy 14 now. It's the first little tab you see when you put your password in. It's
Oh,
fucking the
no.
cursed doll now.
I mean, I'm just not a fan of her hair. Like, that's another thing.
And her hair is very
just the hair.
poofy too. It's very
Yeah,
poofy.
it's a little. This is also her. We haven't seen her in this look yet because I believe this is her Shadowbringers.
Yeah, that's the Shadowbringers look, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the face. It's the face. I think it's also the expression she's making too. Like I don't think she's ever even made that expression in the game. Like she's like,
Yeah.
like she's got her mouth half open and shit.
So the next thing, so the live letter is actually in November, not in October. The live letter is on November 5th. That is going to have crafting, gathering, system-related adjustments, and the new PvP. They're showing the new PvP on that day as well. So we're gonna see, because I know you play PvP. Yeah, because I know you play PvP, so I'm kind of intrigued to see what they do with it and how they change it. Because it seems like after every expansion, they tend to change the PvP.
Yeah.
until they're trying to get the sweet spot for it.
Since I haven't said on the podcast, I still don't know what PvP, what you're supposed to do. Honestly, I go in there, I kill a few people, and capture some areas. It's basically about it.
Yeah.
Just over glorified King of the Hill.
And the most important thing out of the entire live letter, that during TGS, Yoshi P will be taking a lighthearted trip to the public world, visiting player estates.
All right, guys, we need to get in the state before Yoshi P shows up.
I mean, I have 2 mil to drop right now on this estate.
I have 11.
Okay. We will make more money.
We need to tax the rich.
Tax the rich, the 1%. Oh, so that is pretty much the entire live letter there, condensed in about an hour
Yeah.
and change from a 7-hour presentation.
I am interested. I might pick up this Endwalker vinyl just cause.
Wait,
Oh yeah, see
wait.
the end. That thing looks cool, and it comes with the Shadowbringers theme as well, which is cool.
Oh, on the other
So,
side?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
and it comes with an
Also-
MP3 version of it too.
They also announced something else before we end it. They announced the cookbook,
Yes.
which
the Book of Cook.
I already pre-ordered it. I'm money has been already placed. I am already prepared. Like, I have a pre-order on Amazon right now for that cookbook. It looks amazing. I'm very, very, very excited to actually be able to like go through it, because even the photos that they have on Amazon, look, you can make
Looks
the
so
cake.
good. It
You
looks
can
so
make the
good.
fucking cake. I need to make that cake.
You're gonna have to do
so-
a Pip stream.
I was about to ask. Yeah,
Oh,
you know you're doing a
100%.
Pip stream with that cookbook.
100%. 100%.
Maybe even do a review.
Yeah.
Book. Guys, do people do that? Cookbook
Yes.
review?
Oh
100%.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, there
yeah.
you go,
Yeah.
Fee. Cookbook review.
Yeah. This is why. Yeah. No.
While we're on the topic of Square Enix merch, I got my Endwalker, not Endwalker, my Heaven's Word vinyl in. It's pretty nice. Comes in its own little jacket.
Oh,
The
nice.
paper is really nice. I do want to give something to the viewers who have listened for this long. There's only
Ooh.
one use left, but I used the top one already. One if you flip this video somehow, because I think on your guys' end this is all backwards.
Yeah.
But if you flip this one right here, you can have the Heaven's Word LP vinyl.
If you really want to put the work in and get that thing.
It's the
Wait,
yeah,
can you just flip it over? Just flip it over?
No,
No,
it's
not that, not that. Just like flip it like this. Never mind. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, but if you this is the one, because this is the top one's already been used. But if you want to flip this video,
If you want to put some work in.
if you have a monitor, if you have a, you just figure it out. If you really want it, you can have it. Here's the MP3 version of the Heaven's Word title.
What did you think was gonna happen?
I don't know. I thought it was just gonna.
No, he's just like.
I was like, do it this way. What's it gonna
I knew
help?
It wasn't gonna work, but it's just fuck it. Might as well try it.
He's just like, what? Flip the paper? What do you mean?
I'm like, no,
He's not Photoshop.
the other side is just like the who did it.
Frank, be more like Photoshop.
Yeah, be like Photoshop.
What the fuck did you think?
Show it one more time. Bam, that one right there.
Oh my
Here, I'll flip it over for you, like Harv said. There you go.
But yeah, that's a nice little thing. I can't wait till the lore books come out. I'm gonna be buying both lore books when those pop out. I'm really excited, and I'm gonna get some posters and stuff like that. I'm gonna be like I said, I'm gonna try to. My goal for next year is to hit the media tour for either Pip or for myself when it comes to Final Fantasy 14. Probably both.
Where's the media tour?
So right now the media tour is gonna begin at the beginning of October, where content creators get early access to like the jobs, to some of the dungeons.
Oh,
not in some of the. It's like one of the dungeons just to see how the game plays.
A thing you go to or something like that.
It's supposed to be. This year it's all digital.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, this year is digital because of COVID. But for every other year, you go to either Europe or Japan, and you go through the whole thing with them.
Oh yeah.
So
let's just shoot for it.
Yeah.
Let's get some more Pip content out for. Let's just become a Final Fantasy channel. Fuck it. You know what I mean, video games are overrated.
Remember when you guys weren't gonna play this game?
Oh my god.
On that note, that is the entirety of the live letter from the producer. There was a lot of fun streaming it on twitch.tv/. No, actually, I streamed it on my channel on Beard and the Hair, but we had we had Fee, we had Mako there, we had Oda. It was a lot of fun just hanging out and just talking. Oda and I were just going crazy after every like job thing that popped up. We're like, oh my god, oh my god.
Oh my god.
I was just sitting there typing, and then at the end, I'm like, I have 10 pages of notes, guys. Like,
oh man,
no big deal.
But on that note, B, where can everybody find you?
Well, everyone can find me over at twitch.tv/Zeranix, where I'm going to be playing games next week. I am going to be continuing Tome on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/pointinprogress on Sunday. I got almost halfway through that game, and we'll be talking about that a little bit more on podcast that we're going to be releasing today, because this podcast released on Friday. So you will be able to hear my thoughts there and also see the continuation, or you can check clips there. You can also check me out on Tuesday at speaking of Stadia, where that got a little bit delayed this week. So you'll see me over there where we're going to be talking about everything about Stadia. And you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Zeranix, so you can find out where I'm going to be playing things and just up to my usual shenanigans.
Awesome. Frank, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Twitter at Kestrel1A, where I talk mad shit about stuff. You can find me at Point in Progress, where I talk bad shit about stuff. And you can find me hopefully on the Point in Progress Twitch soon, where I will play Neo 2. I'm planning to do that next week now that I have a cleared schedule. I don't have anything to do. I don't have any festivals to come up. I can sit down. I've beat Deathloop, so I don't have any other games to play.
Nice.
So now I think it's time. I think it's time to finally jump into Neo 2 and finally see what the hell Harv's talking about.
I'm excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait. But yeah, you can find me here on Point in Progress. You can find me at twitch.tv/beardinthehair, youtube.com/beardinthehairgaming, Twitter, beardinthehair. But also, guys, if you guys like this video, please hit the like button. If you guys like this, if you guys want to hear more of this amazing podcast on every Friday, hit that sub button, ring the bell. You can find us usually streaming on twitch.tv/pointinprogress, but we've had a lot of fun playing Final Fantasy. We've had a lot of fun reacting to stuff with that, and also just talking about the story. Because next week for the podcast, we're going to talk about after Heaven's Ward. we're going to be talking about the Dragon War song and what we thought about it and stuff like that. So, and then after that, it's going to be Stormblood in the entirety, because by then we'll be going into Shadowbringer, so we can be talking about Stormblood.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for listening to Fantasy in Progress, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.